More mechanics tools from Milwaukee, a 47-piece half-inch drive set with no filler. We'll dig into details when we get back. I'm Tim Johnson. You're watching Shop Tool Reviews. This is the Milwaukee 48-22-9010 or 9010, and it's their 47-piece half-inch drive mechanic set. Now it comes in SAE and metric sizes in both shallow well and deep well sockets. It also comes with their half-inch drive ratchet and a 5-inch extension and a 3-inch extension. Now, if you don't know about Milwaukee sockets yet, they've got a unique design, if you will. It's got 4 flats on this. It's a square. So on the anvil side of the drive, it's a square. So it helps in a couple of things. Number one, you want to put a wrench on this, you want to put an adjustable wrench on this, a set of adjustable pliers or channel locks. You can do so. Maybe in an area where you can't fit the ratchet, you can put a wrench on here and actually take a fastener off or put one on. Also, it helps with lacking or limiting, mitigating rollaway. So maybe that 10 millimeter doesn't roll away as quick as normal. But anyway, so it's really nice if you're, laying this on a car hood or, inside a fender well, something like that. It's not going to roll away. Or you're on an incline and lay it down. It's not going to roll away as well. So just a neat idea, really, because you've got the area to do it with the square anvil. So they did it. They took advantage of that. And it's a unique design that I think is going to work for them. I like it. Again, it's going to limit that roll away. It's also going to give you additional areas to grab the socket. Not to mention, you got those greasy hands, those greasy gloves, and you're trying to, back the fastener off, and it may be loose enough to where it's not engaging the ratchet. You know where I'm at. You're kind of in between things. And now your greasy hands, a lot of times on that round socket, you don't get a good grip, but now on that square socket, you may be able to do that. So again, I like the idea. I think it's a great idea. Now let's look at what you get with this. In the metric side, you get everything from, in the deep well, from 10 millimeter all the way up to 19 millimeter and no skip sizes. So you're going to get every size along the way, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I like that, no skip sizes. However, when I look at a half-inch drive and I've got a 10 millimeter socket, that's pretty much a waste, because anybody that's got a half-inch drive set has probably got a 3/8 drive and a 1/4-inch drive set as well. Especially if you're a mechanic, you've definitely got 3/8 and 1/4-inch drives. So when you're getting a 10 millimeter bolt off, 10 millimeter fastener or 10 millimeter nut off, you're not reaching for your half-inch drive wrench, half-inch drive socket, half-inch drive ratchet. You get what I'm saying. So I would much rather see, at least these 3 small sizes to go and be on the big end. Give me a 21 millimeter and so forth, not just end at 19 and start at 10. So again, that is what it is, but just kind of wanted to let you know my thoughts on that is, again, at 10, 11, 12 millimeter, I'm probably not grabbing, I'm not reaching for a half-inch drive, even probably up to a 15. So you could even limit that on that side. But that's what you get, 10 to 19 millimeter on the deep well. Now, on the shallow well of the metric, you get everything from a 10 millimeter all the way up to 24 millimeter. So at least you're getting a few sizes up on the shallow well as well. Same thing though, if you could limit, if we could have had bigger sizes rather than the smaller ones on the bottom end, that would have been nicer. Now, when you shift over to the SAE, makes a little more sense. We're starting at a half-inch size. So that makes sense to me. Start with a half-inch, and then we're getting all the way up, I believe, to 15/16 on the deep well, and you're getting from a half-inch drive on the shallow well all the way up to an 1 1/4 inch and an 1.1 on the shallow well. So again, going up to an 1 1/8 inch, that's probably going to take care of most everything on a, your light vehicle, your light duty trucks, your regular passenger cars, except for your specialty fasteners, things like that. That's probably going to take care of that. Now, if you're a diesel mechanic, whole different story. So I like the kit, very much quality tools. And by the way, Milwaukee's after the pro here. They're not shooting for the DIY in this sector. They're shooting for the pro mechanic. So they're wanting to be up against the best of the best. This kit's $250 for a 47-piece kit. Now, before you judge that, and you're going to say, well, I can go out and buy a 140-piece kit for $99. Well, Yes, you can, but what's it come with? It probably comes with 1/4 inch drive, 3/8 drive, probably comes with like 40 1/4 inch bits and maybe some Allen keys as well. This kit doesn't have any of that filler. This is all the one ratchet, 2 extensions, and the rest of it are sockets. So you have to look at that when you're looking at, you know, playing the price games here. And again, I'm not taking up the $250 is a lot of money. Absolutely. But make sure you're comparing apples to apples again. So I do give kudos to Milwaukee for that, for not putting any filler in here. You always need extensions, so you got 2 extensions in there. Of course, you need a ratchet, and the rest of it is get to work, use it, tools, if you will. Now, the ratchet is a 90-tooth design, so you get that 4-degree swing arc. You know, so basically every 4 degrees, you're going to hear that click. I took this apart and actually looked at the pawl design. I was kind of curious to see if we'd see a dual paw design or a single paw, and it is a single paw design. And so they're getting that 90 tooth, that 4-degree swing arc with that single paw design, which is a little easier to do when you're looking at a 1/2 inch drive ratchet. When you're getting down smaller to 3/8 and 1/4 inch, typically you're having to go to a dual paw because you just don't have enough teeth. And again, if you don't know what a dual paw and single paw is, it may not make sense to you, but PAWL is what I'm saying there. So, and as you can see here, is when I took it apart to confirm that it was a single paw or a dual paw, it is a single paw. So you kind of understand what the paw is, and then you see the actual ratcheting mechanism and the anvil. And one thing that was interesting, the spring detent here, there is no push button. So there is no push button release. There is no penetration here on the top side other than for the lever. You also get a nice slim design because of that. So you have nothing, you know, kind of protruding up. You got a little bit on the lever there, but not much. So again, you get that, you know, teardrop shape with that slim head, if you will. And it is a heavy ratchet. So there's a lot of metal here, a lot of steel here. Feels good in the hand. You got that nice elliptical shape down here. No padding or anything like that, but just a nice chromoly or nice chrome vanadium ratchet that's chrome plated, and 90 tooth design. So I would assume, let's check, see how long this is. Yeah, so you're looking at an 11-inch ratchet. So from the anvil, looking at about 10 3/4 inches. So 11-inch 1/2 inch drive ratchet that comes with the kit. Again, $250. Like Home Depot has got it for $249.97, I think. Also, lifetime warranty with the Milwaukee tools. I think it's take a picture. And by the way, if you'll pull this out here, this insert, typically your warranty card is always down there. And let me read here. It says, yeah, product description, photograph of the product, name, shipping address. So you basically email them that stuff, picture of the broken tool. They're going to ship one out to you, take care of it right then. So there is no having to take it to a store. There is no having to ship it back or anything like that. You take a picture of it, send your name and email address. Obviously, they're going to have your email address when you email it. And that's the warranty procedure. So lifetime warranty on this. Also, as you saw here, you get this as a, you know, as a tool kit with very slim design here. So if you had a couple of them, you could stack them pretty easily, go behind your truck seat. And also, if you want to put these in a toolbox drawer, you can easily pull the whole thing out, set it in your toolbox drawer, and then you already have a place for everything, for your sockets to go, your ratchets to go, and so forth. When you look at the design of the internals of the of kind of the biting area, if you will, of the sockets, you will see the relief cuts here in the corners. This basically allowing, it's not basically, it is, that's allowing the flats of the socket to bite into the flats of the fasteners. So you're not putting all that torque on the corners of the fasteners like our old sockets used to do. They used to put a lot of stress on the points and on the corners of all the fasteners, and that's where you'd start to see the rounding of those fasteners. Not the case anymore. We have those relief cuts in those corners, which again allows those flats to bite onto the flats of the fasteners and put a lot more torque on those fasteners without any rounding problems. So I'm seeing that on the deep well as well as the shallow well of these also. So another one of the features I really like about this kit, or about what Milwaukee's done with their extensions, is put this knurling on here. Now, it's not real aggressive, so you know, it's not something that's sharp or would hurt your your hand with no gloves on or anything like that. But it is additional grippage, if you will. So we've all been there where a fastener's, you know, too loose to engage another tooth in the ratchet, or maybe you're in a tight area, and so it's kind of a pain to work that ratchet. But it's also not loose enough to where your greasy hands can actually get a grip on the sides of the extension to be able to turn it to back that fastener off. So this little bit of knurling here gives you that additional grippage so that you can apply a little more leverage, or probably double the torque that you can with your greasy fingers on just the chrome extension. So the knurling there, as well as the square end on the socket, definitely helps with that. So I'm glad to see the knurling on both their 3-inch and 5-inch extension. Now, one thing I was curious of when I first saw these, I believe we saw these at the new product symposium in 2019. But anyway, the first time I saw these, one of the questions in my mind was there associated sizes on the square end of these sockets? So in other words, if you had a wrench that you wanted to use versus a crescent wrench or an adjustable wrench, how many sizes would you need? So I thought this was interesting. On the metric sizes, you only need 2 size wrenches. All your smaller ones are going to be 3/4 inch, and your larger ones are going to be 13/16. So you can see on the 19 millimeter, I can get a 13/16 on there and be able to turn that with a wrench if I need to. So again, maybe something where you're grabbing a crescent wrench or an adjustable wrench or some adjustable pliers like channel locks, if you will. But if you have a wrench, the 13/16 is going to take care of, I think, the 2 or 3 biggest sizes. Yeah, so there's the top 2 and takes care of that one as well. But I think when we get down to the 16, yeah, you can see the 16, it's too big for that. Now the rest of these, a 3/4 inch will take care of, all the way down to the 10 millimeter here that also fits a 3/4 inch wrench. So on the metric side, you need a 13/16 and you need a 3/4. Now, a little bit different on the SAE side, and I'm assuming because it's jumping to such a big size here, we're going all the way up to 15/16 and only down to a 1/2 inch. But in this one, we need 3 different sizes. So the 3/4 fits the 1/2 inch, and then I believe this fits a couple. I think maybe down up to here. And now once we get to the 11/16, the 3/4 no longer works. You go to a 13/16, and that only works for 2 of them. And the largest size goes to a 1-inch wrench to be able to grip the squares of those sockets. So just, again, may only be me, but I was curious how many wrenches you would need to work with these, and 3 wrenches would do it. So, if you have 3 wrenches in your kit, 3/4, 13/16, and 1 inch, that'll take care of the squares on these sockets. So if you hit those fasteners where your ratchet's not going to work, or where it kind of makes it easier to kind of get a lower profile to be able to, and by the way, on the shallow well, you've got the squares as well, so you may be using this with a shallow well also, and so now you can take that wrench and be able to get that kind of slimmer line in there, just the depth of that socket, to be able to break that fastener free, or even to tighten it up. Again, this is the 1/2 inch drive kit. You can actually get these in just a metric set, which would be like a 28 piece or 26 piece, something like that, or just an SAE set. But this is their combined set that comes with both, and with 1 ratchet and the 2 extensions. So again, it's the Milwaukee product number 48-22-9010. You can find it at the Home Depot for about $250. Also keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you like this video. Also, don't forget to hit the bell notification so you can be notified of future videos. Have a great day. Go out and do something nice for someone.